We're going to go and we're going to go now, and I'm going to blow you guys away. This is the webinar your boss doesn't want you to attend. I want to ask everyone if they're in the right place. Here's how you will know whether you're in the right place or not. Do you have the Sunday dreads? Do you lay in bed at night going, oh crap, I've got to go back to work on Monday, and I'm not super excited about what that means for me? Do you feel anxiety? Are you worried about what your boss is thinking? Are you worried about what your coworkers are thinking? Do you use the word stuck a lot? I feel stuck at work. I just don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know what I should be doing. Do you feel invisible? Where's my promotion? I'm kicking much butt. Why am I not getting recognized? Am I invisible over here? Are you thinking, oh my God, COVID? Oh my God, the job market is so scary and dangerous. I should just be thankful for the job I have. Or are you going really existential on me, which is, are you asking yourself, is this it? Is this all there is to it? Is this what life has in store for me? Gosh, when I went to school, when I wanted to be an astronaut, when I wanted to be a baseball player, I thought there was going to be more to this. If this is you, you are in the right place. My theme here, work shouldn't suck. We spend way too much time at work to allow us to spend those hours miserable. Doesn't mean work's got to rock 40, 50 hours a week. It means it's got to be cool more often than not. And it means there's no reason, if you're not happy at work, that you can't take control of your life, build a plan, and figure out how to make it work better for you. That's my motto. Talk really briefly about what I'm about, why I'm here, why you should be listening to me. We'll go through an agenda of what I'm going to cover. Everyone is going to leave here with 3 different plans based on which suck bucket you fall into. There are 3 suck buckets, meaning work shouldn't suck. You're going to fall into 1 of 3 spots. When you figure out which spot you fall in, you'll have a plan. You'll leave here with a 4-step plan for how to address the suck that you're stuck in. My name is Keith Johns. I'm the former COO of a technology company here in Charlotte called Micro D. I went through 3 years of intense executive training. Actually, have started multiple businesses. One of my businesses was featured on Oprah Winfrey and in People magazine. That was pretty freaking cool. I invest in and advise startups, and now I do this thing full time. I'm living what I teach. That means everything I teach you today, I've done. You may not be someone who wants to break out of corporate. It's what I did. I've started my own business. I'm now a full-time coach, completely in charge of my pay or lack thereof, the limits of my pay, how I spend my time, how my schedule runs, all that. So you'll fall on the spectrum somewhere between wanting to get promoted, wanting to break out, wanting to start your own business. You'll fit in there somewhere. Hiring a coach myself radically changed my life, and now I help transform the lives of others. So let's do a quick poll here. I hope this works. If it doesn't, I'm going to abandon it. I just launched the poll. It says, which bucket do you fit in? Can everyone see the poll? Michelle, can the poll be seen? Yep, it can be seen. All right. So do you love where you work, but you're feeling stuck? So you like your company, you're just stuck in your spot and you're not happy. Or is it, I love what I'm doing, but the company I work for is not a good fit? Or the existential topic, I really feel like I was meant for something bigger. Or you're just not sure yet. Tell me, Keith. These are all anonymous, by the way. Even if your boss is here right now, he can't see your answer. Go ahead and answer. I'm going to give it 2 more seconds, and I'm going to report back what everyone responded as. 1,001, 1,002. We have a lot of existential people on here, which is cool. I'm very spiritually aligned with that. We've got 6 people who like where they are, but they're feeling stuck. That's bucket 1. We've got 7 people who like what they do, but the company isn't a fit. We got 17 people who think they should be doing something more impactful. I absolutely love that. And you can build that kind of life. There's 7 people who aren't sure. So a good mix. We're going to address each of those issues. I'm going to close that poll and slide my chat window out of the way. Now you know which bucket you're in. The goal of this session is to create agency. Someone taught me about this years ago, and agency is really about freedom. There's a book by Vishen Lakhiani. He founded Mind Valley, and it's one of my formative books. And in it, he talks about the rules. BRULES. It is short for bullshit rules. It means that we get on this conveyor belt, about high school, where we got to get good grades, and then we go to college and we get good grades, and we get a degree and we get a job, and culture and our families and our religion and society is telling us we've got to follow this certain path. And it's just not necessarily true. So, what I want to do here is I want to give you back some control over the next half an hour or so. I want you to have agency in your life. I don't want you to show up for a job because you have to. I don't want you to continue to need a biweekly paycheck because you think there are no other options. I don't want you to stay stuck. We get one life, one trip around this big watery globe, and we should live it to its fullest. This quote right here from Henry David Thoreau, right? Guy who sat by a pond and wrote about it. If there isn't freedom in that, I don't know what is. But this is actually up on my wall, and I read it to myself every day. It's one of the quotes that helped me have breakthroughs in my career. And he said, if one advances confidently in the direction of his or her dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. I firmly believe in this quote. I think the world is abundant. If you're one of my clients, you know I kind of beat that into the ground. There's plenty of opportunity. The sun never stops shining, and the world is full of abundance if you're willing to go out and get what you want. So here, hit me up in the chat box now. After hearing my introduction, knowing who I am and what I'm going to talk about, are you in the right place today? If you are, put a 1 in the chat box. If you're not, put a 2. I see there's 1, there's a 1. All right, the ones are rolling in. Good. So I just want to make sure I'm respecting everyone's time. You're here for the next half an hour, and I want to give you massive amounts of value. Even if you never talk to me again, when you leave here, you're going to have a vision for how to move forward on one of these 3 plans. So good. I'm glad everyone's in the right place. Here's what I'm going to teach you today. I'm going to teach you a little bit about my process so that you know I'm just not a collection of achievements on a resume. I actually have systems I use to help people break through and build their career. So we'll go over my magic. I'll help you identify each suck bucket, and we will talk about the plan to get you out of those buckets for each. 3 steps for each. There's a 4th bonus step for each one. At the end, we'll find out whether you're a hell yes or not. At the end of this session, you'll either be ready to take action or you'll be ready to go think about it some more. And if you are ready to take action, I have freebies I'm giving away. You have to stay till the end of the session. I promise I'll respect everyone's time. This might be over way earlier than 1. It's the first time I've given this spiel, but at the end of this session, I will be giving away 2 really valuable things for free. So let's talk briefly about my magic. My magic is a forked road. There's 2 parts to it. One's behavioral and one's tactical. And it's important that you have both pieces. A lot of folks go right into the tactical and they forget the behavioral, the mindset, the way your attitude is and the way you're approaching life. And what'll happen is you'll execute on the tactical and you won't get the outcome you want to achieve because you didn't take care of the behavioral first. So my shortcut that I use, it's called do you rua what you doa. Do you rua what you doa? It's easier to remember things when they rhyme. That means RUA. I call this my behavioral triangle. I use it with all my clients. So if you've got a behavior that you want to replace, let's say, for instance, you have a hard time having difficult conversations with people, and that surfaces during an initial conversation with me. If we don't address that or any other number of internal blockers that you have, if we don't address that, here's what's going to happen. You're going to carry those in your behavior backpack over to your new job. You're going to tactically try to get promoted or tactically get a new job, tactically become an entrepreneur, and then go, oh goodness, nothing got better. Why? Because you carried that same bad behavior. Perhaps it's that conflict avoidance behavior. You carried it with us. So we use the triangle you're looking at on the screen now. The first thing we do is we recognize the behavior. I ask lots and lots of questions of my clients to make sure they understand what they're bringing to the table that's blocking them from what they want. It's not just the world. We play a part in making our dreams happen. So it's recognition. Once you know what it is, Then it's understanding. Well, where does that come from? Why is that happening? If you don't understand it, it becomes very difficult to change that behavior. So we recognize, then we understand, then we adapt. It becomes really important that that behavior gets chipped away at through micro moments. So I actually send clients away with the recognition and the understanding of the behavior, and then they go practice, whether it's with their boss, their friends, or their family. They actually start to behave a little bit differently. And it's kind of magical. This seems really simple, but in the application of those micro moments where you learn how to change those behaviors, amazing growth happens. It's really cool. So all of my coaching starts with this. This is the first part of my magic. Again, this is the behavioral piece. The second part is the tactical piece. So you've got to have a plan. It would be great if we all just sat around cross-legged and got our minds right. But if you go back to your same crappy job or your same lack of having full purpose, or feeling like there's more for you, then we haven't really executed. So we do get a grip. That's the technical plan we use. For those of you who are old like me and remember who Garfield is, I pulled this in here for a few smiles. The tactical part means we use a coaching system called goal, reality, impediments, then plan and execute. As with the behavioral triangle, hey, that's easy, I can do that. But the magic is in the details and the execution and the feedback loop that are required to execute on these things, to really understand where you want to go. What's your actual goal? What are you trying to achieve? And do you have clarity on it? And are you sure that's the right goal, or is that something you inherited? Then what's your reality? There's a gap. I'm here, I want to be here. What's reality look like today? Let's take a look at that. Then there's this chunk in the middle that's impediments. We work on a few of those in the behavior part of my coaching sessions, but we also have impediments that are third party, that are outside, that we have to deal with and work through. And then, of course, there's plan and execute and the accountability piece, right? People often need an accountability buddy of some sort who's going to keep them on track so that they can actually deliver and hit the goal they want to hit. Here's the shorthand for it. Of the two pieces of my magic, we get your mind right, we get your game tight. You got to have your head on right, and you've got to have a plan to get that outcome, to solve the problem that we're going to identify next. So far, so good. All right. There are three suck buckets. The first one's called breakthrough. This is, and you're familiar with these, we talked about them a little bit earlier in the session. If you need a breakthrough, it's because you love where you work, but no one recognizes your accomplishments. There's room for growth above me, but I get passed over. My boss hasn't given me a career plan. We had, I think, 6 or 7 of you who fit in that first suck bucket. The second suck bucket is break free. Hang on, did I skip one? Yep, there we go. Break out is the next one. This is where you like what you do, but you want to go to a different company. I'm stuck under a bad boss, on a bad team, or in a bad department. I'm under promoted, underpaid, or overworked. The culture, people, or purpose isn't a fit anymore. I think we had 7 or 8 people who fit into this. A lot of my clients land in this bucket. We always start in the first bucket. We always try to figure out if we can make things right with your current company. If we can't, this is the logical next step, that you just need a new home. And the third bucket is for those of you who have a bigger, more high purpose calling that's calling out to you. It scares you out of your damn mind, but I have a sneaking suspicion I have a higher calling. You may find yourself saying to others, I've got this idea. Or you might just want to be free and live life on your terms, but you need a safe plan. You see a crazy person like me who walked away from a C-suite job and a biweekly paycheck and all the benefits, and you go, whoa, I can't do that. If you want to break free, you're going to need a plan for that as well. So, do you know your bucket? Give me a 1 or a 2 in the chat box. Do you know which bucket you're in? Are you in Right. Yeah, you can even put a 3 in if you want to tell me which bucket you, there you go. Bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3. Good, good, good. Everyone should know their bucket. We got one that's a 2 and a 3. So that's common. We actually, the buckets do get combined. You can work between buckets sometimes. I'm glad a few of you picked up on that. Good deal, good deal. All right. Love it, love it, love it. I love the participation. Thanks everybody for using the chat. It lets me know that I am hitting my marks. So now we're going to go through the plans. So there is a plan for each of these. So if you've identified your bucket, I'm going to give you the steps and I'm going to explain the steps for how to get out of that bucket. Of course, there are more steps to this. I couldn't give you the full entire 12-week plan that I usually put people on. I've given you a subset of the ideas that will help, but you can take these plans and go execute on them and you can produce results. So I hope this is the most meaningful and useful part of this session. So let's start with bucket number one, that is breakthrough. Again, you're not being recognized for your accomplishments. There's room for growth above you, but you're getting passed over. Your boss hasn't given you a career plan. I hear that all the time. People have no idea how to advance in their current spot, and that's a crappy feeling to have. Here's the flip side of that. So we just addressed the reality. This is the grip method, right? That was the reality. The goal is I want to become a badass in my current job and get promoted. That's fantastic. Like, hell yeah, let's go do that. Let's figure out why you're not getting promoted and fix it. That's a fixable problem if you're in the breakthrough bucket. So, this is how you do it. Here's the 3 steps plus the bonus for creating a breakthrough in your career. Again, this is for people who want to get promoted. One, you'll notice this fits the behavior triangle approach plus the grip tactical approach. So the first thing we do is get your head right. You need to learn to manage fears and stay in a creative mindset. Now, as I get to the meat of this presentation, please know I am recording it and I will be sending it out. So don't feel like you have to write all this down. I get really excited and I start to talk fast. So just feel free to listen and you'll get a copy of this when it's done. The second step is to give your personal brand a makeover. I'm missing the word A in there. Give your personal brand a makeover. We'll talk about what personal brand is and what that means. Step 3 is learning how to influence. Super important skill. Everyone thinks they know what it is, but they're not sure how to do it. And the fourth one, the bonus step here, is to create a framework. So if you're looking to break through, get promoted at your current job, you need to manage fears, work on your personal brand, learn how to influence, and create a framework. Here's how to execute each one of those steps. It starts by managing fears. And I want to tell you a little bit about how your biology works. So, when your fight or flight is triggered, and it gets triggered all the time, the dumb part of your brain, the survival mechanism in your brain, takes over. And it actually turns off your creativity and your problem solving functions. So, the more time you spend in fight or flight in these fears, the less creative you're going to be at work. If you're less creative, then you're less effective at getting good work done and solving problems, and you're less promotable. So the first thing I always tackle with a new client is anything that they're scared of that's holding them back. Are they scared of confrontation? Are they scared of imposter syndrome? That's a huge one. Are you intimidated by your boss? Are you scared of failure or embarrassment? Embarrassment is huge, huge issue. Are you scared of stepping on toes or isolation? Maybe you're scared of going broke. That's a big one for people in the other 2 buckets who feel like they need to hold on to their job because, oh my gosh, I might go bankrupt if I take a big risk. So the first thing you need to do if you want to get promoted is learn how to manage these fears and stay in that creative mindset so you can perform really highly. So I'd recommend, if you're looking to produce this outcome, if this is one of your goals, do a little fear journaling. Sit down and actually write out what you're scared about. See if they look like this and start to question those. Questioning is a really powerful way to turn fears on their ear. Should I really be scared of talking to my boss? What's the worst thing that could happen if I have a conversation with my boss that's a little off? Should I really be worried about going broke? If I got fired, wouldn't I just figure it out? Start to question those fears. It's one of the things I teach my clients. A lot of times the fears are way overstated. The second thing you're going to want to do if you're wanting to get promoted and you're having trouble getting promoted is to give your personal brand a makeover. I'm actually in a marketing group right now with a entrepreneur named Casey Graham, and he had a really good shortcut for understanding whether you know your brand or not. But I'm going to ask everyone first, again, in the chat box, do you feel like you've got a grasp of your personal brand? Hit 1 for yes, 2 for no. Tell me in the chat. A lot of twos, a lot of twos. Yeah, personal brand. There's some ones. Cool. Um, Thanks everyone. Awesome. Awesome. Good, good, good. So there's kind of a split there of people who are yes or no on personal brand. There's a lot being said out there today about personal brand. And again, I was learning from someone named Casey Graham, and he gave this shortcut. So for those of you who aren't sure what your personal brand is, and yes, I use that old, this is actually used to have this Nokia cell phone, little itty bitty candy bar shaped cell phone. Your personal brand is what people think when they look down at their phone and see your name. Oh, that's Keith calling. What are the 3, 4, 5 things that they think about you or about me when they look down and see your name on that phone? Is it, this is going to be a great conversation? This is a nice guy. This guy's a pain in the butt. This person's needy. This person knows what they're talking about. This person's going to be asking for help. This person's going to be offering help. A whole slew of things. Think about it. When you look down and see that name, you think about that person. You're wondering, oh, gonna let that go to voicemail. And oh, by the way, no one checks voicemail. Or you're going to be excited to talk to them. That's a nice little shortcut for starting to understand what your personal brand is about. Um, One of the things I do with my clients is we actually go through a personal branding exercise where we determine what are your key skills? What are your key characteristics? What's your mission? What are you all about? And then you start to emphasize those things. You actually carry your personal brand with you at your company, and it's a subset of the totality of who you are. It's not everything about you. It's the lens you let others at your work see you through. And it's important that you cultivate and curate that brand. So that's the second step I recommend you take if you're trying to get promoted, but you're having trouble getting promoted. Third thing you do is you have to learn how to influence. This is really important. Um, it helps if you learn how to influence from day one of onboarding at your new company. But if you're already knee deep in your new company, you can still learn how to influence. I recommend this book by Robert Cialdini. Took me a while to learn how to pronounce his name. It's like Cialdini. This is a huge book. It's a big influence on me. It's called Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. So if you haven't yet, if you have thought that your good work will speak for you, that I'm just going to do outstanding work and become really, really good at what I do, and I'll get recognized and I'll get promoted. I have news for you that doesn't always work. And in fact, it often doesn't work. You need to work on these other things. You need to be building allies. You need to understand the difference between positive and negative politics and start working positive politics. These are connections and learning how you can get things done and how you can do things for others. You've got to be aligned with your manager. This is one of the most important things I ever learned at my last job, was understanding what mattered to my manager so that I could behave and deliver results accordingly. The art of questioning becomes really important in influencing, as does listening and learning how to mirror people. There's the art of reciprocation, there's social proof, there's body language. These are just a few topics that are in this book. Again, this is something that I actually teach every single one of my clients who wants to get promoted. We go through exercises on how to influence. So that was step number 3 for people who are in the breakthrough bucket. Last one, if you're in the breakthrough bucket and you want to get promoted and you don't have any idea how to get promoted, then what in the world are you thinking? So create a framework. You need to know how to get promoted at your company. It's shocking how many people don't know the timing of promotions, how they're measured, whether they're measured against others or they're measured against some sort of yardstick. How are you solving problems? What kind of impression are you making? You need a framework, a plan that you go forward with so that you can actually execute against that plan in order to have that breakthrough that you want to experience. So that's bucket 1. That is bucket 1. If you are stuck, you don't want to leave your current job, but you'd like to get a promotion. We're going to move on to bucket 2 now. Bucket 2 is a big one. This is for people who are pretty convinced that they need to move to another company. So this is you. I love what I do, but I'm stuck under a bad boss, on a bad team, or in a bad department. I'm underpromoted, underpaid, or overworked. I don't fit with the culture or people anymore. It's time for us to get your mind right, get your game tight, and get you to a new company, because there are better companies, better fit companies out there for you. I want a new company, a promotion, and a raise, out, up, and up. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've been helping people for the past 6 or 7 months achieve this outcome. So don't think it's impossible. I've got a whole string of people that has been a pleasure to help that left their job, got promoted, are making more money, and are happy. It is totally possible. Totally possible. And they glow and they're beaming. It's out there. It's even out there during COVID. This is how you do it. 4 steps for this bucket. We're on bucket number 2. Fix your mindset around thoughts and feelings. Right back to that triangle. Get your head right. Create a multi-pronged approach. Number 2 is sneaky important. And I'm going to spend some time on that because too many people think they're taking the right approach to finding a new job and they aren't doing it well enough. We're going to spend some time on that one. I'm going to show you a rubric. A rubric is a way for you to make sure you don't repeat past mistakes. What that means is here's how my current job measures up. Here's my goal for the job I want to jump to. And here's how I'm going to track whether new jobs align with what I want to land. I'll show you. The graphic will help that make sense. And then asking amazing questions, especially during the interview process, is a key approach to creating a breakout moment. Let's go through each of these 4 steps. So similar to the first bucket, you have to fix your mindset around thoughts and feelings. I spend a lot of time with my clients. There's a lot of fear there. They're scared of not being liked. They're scared of rejection. They're scared of failure. Yes, this echoes a lot of what's in the first bucket, but it all starts here. It is super duper important. Our brains are these big sacks of goo at the top of our neck. They're not actually that smart. They're brilliant, but they're also kind of dumb. The main goal of the brain is to keep you alive. So it's going to send you all kinds of false fear messages just to help you survive. It doesn't really work in our current sort of modern society. A lot of those fears aren't really real. So you've got to overcome those, get comfortable with the idea of exiting out and up and doing brave things, leaving behind the safety, so the so-called safety of where you're at today, and actually get brave and get ready to jump. So the first thing you do is you get your mindset right around thoughts and around feelings. The second thing you do, this is the multi-pronged approach I talked about. This is really important, so pay attention. A lot of people are doing these 5 things, but they're not doing them well enough. And there's one sneaky one on here that when it works, it's super friggin' cool. So I'm actually going to start on the right side with apply and pray. This is the easy thing to do, right? Haunt LinkedIn, haunt Indeed, and just apply for jobs. It's the baseline for any job hunting approach. I expect my clients to do it. I'd expect you to do it. Don't necessarily expect fantastic results, and definitely expect better results if you layer these other approaches on top. I'm going to go caddy corner now to warm outreach. This is the network you've already built. You should be leveraging your current network, talking to friends, former colleagues, and starting up nice, warm conversations with them. Don't lead with, are you hiring? Lead with wanting to care about the person, reach out to the person, have a great conversation, and see where the conversation goes. It will naturally lead to how are things going at work. You don't want to be the desperate person who's asking all their friends, are you hiring? Get me out of here. It turns people off. You're going to want to actually care about them, work the network, work the relationships that you already have, and see what's out there. You might be surprised. I combine cold outreach and hunting, and this is the one that everybody overlooks that can be the sweetest vein of gold to mine. And I've got a client who it's working for right now, and I'll tell you what's happening to him. So by hunting, I mean, what's the list of dream companies you'd like to work for? Most people don't start with that list. They start with the want ads and see who's hiring. Guess what? Not all the jobs are on LinkedIn. Not all the available jobs are in Indeed. There are jobs out there that aren't posted. Totally true. Or they're just getting ready to hire and they haven't posted it yet. So hunt, make the list of companies you would like to work for. Shoot for the moon. My clients tell me Facebook, LinkedIn, Google, MailChimp, on down the line, all these major companies. Hell yeah, let's try and get you in there. Here's where you combine hunting with cold outreach. You've got your warm network, but you don't have a network established at these companies you want to hunt. I want you to decide, yes, I want to work for Salesforce in the Atlanta office. And I want you to reach out to people who work at Salesforce in the Atlanta office and say hello. And that's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because they might reject you. They might not want to talk to you. You might have to do it 10 or 15 times before someone accepts your connection on LinkedIn and says, yeah, I'd be willing to talk to you. I actually teach my clients exactly what to say during the first outreach, what to say on the follow up, and then what to do once you actually get someone. So if you combine hunting the companies you want to work at with cold outreach, with the right spirit and the right volume, it will produce results. I just got off the phone yesterday with one of my clients who has uncovered 2 jobs that were not listed, and he did it by networking into companies that he wanted to work at. And this is how it happened. Um, hey, Keith, I see you're at Salesforce. It's a really cool company. I would love to connect to you and have a virtual coffee. Sincerely, Bob. I accept. Bob, sounds great. Would love to have virtual coffee with you. Awesome. Schedule one and we have it. 20 minutes into the virtual coffee, swear to God, this is what happened to the client. Are you looking for a job? Because now that I've spent 15, 20 minutes getting to know you, we're getting ready to hire in this one department. This happened once, but not twice, because this particular client is doing something other people don't do and is doing it a lot, is doing enough of it to produce that really, really cool outcome. So he's got 2 jobs he's going after, no one else is even competing for yet. It's super cool. So combine hunting and cold outreach. Use apply and pray as your baseline. Use warm outreach to your current network. And don't forget about LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups, Slack, and masterminds like the Product Management Mastermind I hold every Friday. The more you can build your network, that is the way to get jobs, is through friends and friends of friends. That is the way things happen. Please stop relying on the job boards. Please put care and love into your network and effort into your job hunt. It will pay off. You build this network, it'll actually pay off for the rest of your life. All right, I get pretty fired up about that one. Here's the rubric. I'll go over this one pretty quickly. Credit to one of my clients. His name's Alex. He took my kind of crappy half-ass rubric and he made this amazing thing out of it. So what I have my clients do down the left-hand side are, what are all the criteria at your dream company? See, what I don't want to happen is I don't want you to interview and get excited because you've got an offer and you take the job just because you got an offer, even if it's not a good fit. So we actually have people fill out the criteria. What has to be true? What has to be good about the company? And then you actually weigh that on a scale of 1 to 5. How important is each thing to you? That's the second column. Then we have you rate your current company. So how do you rate it and what's the score? This current company only has a 26. This person was interviewing at a new company and the new company scored 183 on their rubric. What this does is it makes sure you don't get too emotional about the company you decide to jump to. It kind of keeps you in check, because you might get an offer and then when you look at this document, go, you know what? They don't check as many boxes as I would like them to. And it's really fun to explore the criteria that matter to you. So you can really get true and straight with what you want to get to. You don't just want to escape, you want to escape and upgrade. So the rubric helps do that. Here's the fourth thing. It is the bonus for the second bucket. Then we'll move on to the third bucket. Ask amazing questions. This book, Questions Are the Answer. My clients are tired of me talking about it. It's by Hal Gregerson. It is probably one of the top 3 or 4 most influential books I've ever read in my life. Asking really good questions during the interview process, when they say, what questions do you have, is a great way to separate yourself. And it's not just about the initial question. It's about the question you ask, how well you listen, and what your follow-up is to that question. If you're able to get the person on the other side of the table to reflect, and reflection always happens, people pull back, their eyes roll up, they look at the ceiling, they'll say, that's a good question. Fan-friggin-tastic way to make an impression on the people you're interviewing with. So get this book. In fact, I've got a way you can get a free copy of this book at the end of this session. All right, so that's bucket 1 and bucket 2. Let's get to bucket 3, which a bunch of you are in, and is a bucket that is near and dear to my heart. You feel like you're destined to be doing something bigger. that life is full of amazing opportunity, and maybe there's something more for me than what I'm doing right now. It scares you out of your damn mind, but you've got a sneaking suspicion you have a higher calling. You find yourself saying, I've got this idea. You want to be free. You want to live life on your terms, but you need a safe plan. 4 steps to do that. Here's your goal. I want to safely experiment with the side hustle to see if I have what it takes to ditch corporate or just make some extra cash. This is the break free bucket. 4 steps. These are really, really, really important. 1, get your 9 to 5 figured out. I'll tell you how to do that. 2, do a little bit of draft marketing work on your idea. I'll tell you how to do that. Start talking to people. I'll tell you why that's important. The bonus step with this one is the most important step. It might sound a little self-serving, but I'll explain it when I get to it. Step 1, if you're going to do a side hustle and you want to safely experiment with potentially breaking out of corporate, it's important you get your 9 to 5 figured out. Under no circumstances should your side hustle put your corporate job at risk. It's paying your bills, right? So you're going to want to do what I did. Make sure you talk to HR. Hey, HR, what's the policy on me starting a side business? What's my employment agreement look like? And what does it say I can and can't do? What's your boss's take? You want your boss to know what you're doing. Don't try and start a side hustle behind your boss's back. It will bite you in the tush. Nick, thanks. Appreciate it. Number 3, no train wrecks. We do not want you to cause any disasters with your decision to start a side hustle. And a couple of you actually mentioned combining a couple of the buckets. You said I'm a 1 and a 3 or a 2 and 3. Totally get it. You may want to combine, I've got a client doing this right now, breaking out of your current company to get to a company where it's easier for you to start a side hustle. That is a totally acceptable plan and outcome. Here's the second step on this. Do some draft marketing. You want to know what your target market is. You want to know what their bleeding neck problem is. I got to give credit to my friend Fareed. He's a coach of mine. He said, identify the bleeding neck problem of your market. Figure out what outcome you want to produce with your side business, and then establish what personas. So what are the psychological and demographic aspects of the people you want to talk to? This is just a quick peek at the persona sheet that I actually put people through who are going through my side hustle program, just part of one of the tools that we use. The third step in breaking free is get ready to start talking to a lot of people. A short story here. I took 2 days off from my corporate job last fall. And I told my coach, I'm so excited, so excited. I took 2 days off. I'm going to work on my side hustle. She said, great. What are you going to do? So I'm going to do a bunch of writing and planning, and I'm going to think about things, and I'm going to whiteboard. And she said, no, you're not. And I said, how come? She said, what are you scared to do? I said, I'm scared to go talk to people about my business and see if anyone will actually buy from me. And she said, I want you to go take 2 days and do that instead. And those are the most important 2 days of my last couple of years, because I went out and I talked to people who might be my target market. I sought to be proven wrong. I was testing my ideas to see if there was actually room for them, if people who I thought were my personas actually were my personas. And it allowed me to iterate. If you are going to side hustle and start up a side business, you're going to have to get comfortable with talking to a lot of people. And I can help you do that. Last thing is, this is the obvious one. I don't think anyone should start a side hustle without a coach. If you're thinking about starting a side hustle, it doesn't have to be me, but get a coach. You're going to need someone to help you with that so that it doesn't go sideways, so you get the best kind of outcome that you would like to get. All right. That's it. Those are my 3 buckets. Those are 4 steps on how to execute on each bucket. Are you fired up? Give me a 1 in the chat box if this has got you excited about what the future could hold for you. Give me a 2 if I've bored you out of your mind. Seeing lots of 1s, lots of excitement. Yeah, you should be excited, right? This is your life. This is your chance to take control. I put my clients in the driver's seat. Life shouldn't be driving for you. You should be doing what you want to. All right, good. Lots of 1s. Glad everyone's excited. Cool. So my question to you is, how long are you going to tolerate being stuck? This is where I'm going to tell you a little bit where if this has gotten your attention and you want to understand what it's like to work with me, and I'm going to give you your 2 freebies. I hope you found this session really, really delightful and informative. My question is, how long are you going to tolerate being stuck? Are you going to last another year and see if things get better? Or are you ready to take action today? So of course, As you might have guessed, I have a program for each bucket you might find yourself in. The breakthrough program helps you increase your performance as a leader, accelerate your growth quickly, and get promoted. The breakout program, it's if you feel stuck at work and want to exit to a better fit company where you can grow and make more money. And I've got a break free program, the one where you can start a side hustle and build towards an exit for corporate. Ajitha says, not long. I love it. So the question is, are you a hell yes? I don't take maybes. So I am open for business, and I would love to talk to each and every one of you about what it takes to be my client. And I am offering something special for people who attend this webinar. I've never done this before, and it is a limited time offer. One, Mary Upshaw's giving me a hell yes. Love it. One, I have openings for 20-minute enroll calls. They are today, they are tomorrow, and they are Saturday. 20 minutes with me one-on-one to see if you're a hell yes. If you sign this month, I'm giving you 2 bonus extras. I've never done this before. One, I'm giving every new client a copy of the book, Questions Are the Answer, because it's so important to me that I want to give that away. 2, each one of my programs comes with 12 one-on-ones or 12 sessions with me, not necessarily one-on-ones. Some are group, some are private. I will give a bonus 13th session to everyone who signs by February 28th. This is my link. It's keithallen.as.me. You go to this address if you would like to set up a meeting. I have times available today, tomorrow, and Saturday morning, but I am taking Saturday afternoon off to spend with my son. So I hope you'll consider having a one-on-one with me and finding out if you're a hell yes or not. I really hope you found this. It's been really fun to present this. I hope you found it informative and useful. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate your time, and have a great last 10 minutes of your lunch break. And I hope to see you all again real soon. Take care.